friends, and welcome to Sustainable Prepping, your home for fear-free emergency preparedness and a sustainable life. My name is Brecky, and today we are getting into the nitty-gritty of my 3-tier food storage system. Y'all have heard it if you've been here for any length of time that I teach a 3-tier food storage system, and today we're going to go over an overview and look at that first tier or your working pantry system. If you're new, I want to say a great big welcome. I'm so glad that you found my little slice of the internet. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure when you click that bell icon, you hit all so you never miss a video. If you're not new here, welcome back. I'm so glad you are joining me yet again. All right, today we are diving into my 3-tier food storage system. Several people have asked, and now I am delivering, in part because y'all, if you haven't watched the car talk video I posted on Sunday, you need to. It is time. The politicians are saying we should have food storage, so I'm going to help you quickly get started so that you can look at food storage in a really manageable way. One of the big problems with food storage in the emergency preparedness community is people are telling you you need to have a year's supply and you need to buy this many hundreds of pounds of wheat and rice and beans, and it's incredibly overwhelming. I don't think it's useful. I think we can be overwhelmed to the point of freezing, right? Sometimes when the mountain is too high, we just don't even try to climb it. I want to give you an alternative, all right? I want to give you an alternative to that overwhelming sense. The first thing I want to note is I don't think you need to be planning for a year's supply of food. I have a whole bunch of reasons for that. But the main one is I think it's way too much to bite off in the beginning. I don't think most of us are going to be able to shelter in place for an entire year. So I would focus really on 1 to 3 months of dedicated emergency food, okay? And thirdly, I think that we can be so overwhelmed with the investment of that level of food storage that we don't even start. What I want for you as we think about a 3-tier food storage system is that all of this is designed to get you started fast and to get you moving towards your food storage goals as quickly as possible. All right, with that said, what are my 3 tiers of food storage? Well, the first tier is your working pantry. And your ideal goal for your working pantry should be anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks or more, depending upon really your space. A working pantry is everything that you use on a regular basis. This will include everything on your pantry shelves, everything in your fridge and your freezer, and anything that might be freshly brought in and used really quickly, like eggs, like anything you grow in your backyard and eat, any of the stuff that you're rotating on a monthly or so basis. The second tier in my 3-tier system is your mid-tier or your middle term food storage. This is dedicated food storage that is, in my world, based around a very specific meal plan, and it is designed to be rotated on an annual-ish basis. This is not necessarily stuff that you're buying and setting aside for the next 30 years, okay? This is stuff that you can go and you can buy at a grocery store, or you can package yourself, or you can buy freeze-dried or commercially dehydrated products, but they are not meant to sit untouched on your shelves for years and years. They are meant to go through an annual review where you incorporate them into that working pantry and then you move on. Now, I actually teach a course on how to get a month of this kind of food storage done in just a weekend, and you can actually double, triple, quadruple it if you wanted more food storage. I'll make sure all of those links are down below in case you're curious, but your midterm food storage is based on a meal plan, and it is going to incorporate stuff you already eat, stuff you can buy at the grocery store, plus if you want to add in things like commercially freeze-dried products, and it is going to be designed to either supplement your working pantry as things get low or be a complete replacement in a full grid down emergency situation. All right, your third level of your food storage in my 3-tier system is going to be your long-term food storage. Long-term food storage is the stuff that you think about when you think of emergency preparedness food. This is your rice, your beans, your wheat, your flour, your salt, your sugar, your commercially number 10 can size freeze-dried or dehydrated goods. This is the stuff that you are going to package and then not think about for at least 10, 15, 20 years. This is the stuff that is designed to hold you if things are really, really bad. Now for me, this is actually the least important of the 3 tiers, which is why it's the third. And the reason is because for most of us, this isn't stuff we eat on a regular basis, right? And this is stuff that can sit for a long time. So we want this to actually be the last level of our effort, not because it's not important, but because realistically, if you're talking about a 2-week or even a 1-month long grid down situation, which are much more likely than a 6-month, 9-month, 1-year long hunkered down situation, you might not even need to crack into a giant bucket of rice or oats, right? Those are overwhelming. They are big investments. They are expensive to set up when you are first getting started and you have to buy the Mylar and you have to find the buckets and you have to learn how to put all those things together. They're a lot of effort for something that actually you don't want to have to use until you've gone through your first and second tiers of food storage, which is why I put them at the end. They are useful and they absolutely have their place. But if you are just getting started, I suggest you start with tier 1 and 2, so your working pantry and your midterm pantry, getting those in a really great place. And then as you have those foods that are easier to use, that you already work with, that are commercially available, right? They are low-hanging fruit. Once you have those in a good place, then you start building up that bulk long-term food storage. So that is how I structure our 3-tier system. Remember that you are going to be spreading out your investment across these 3 tiers. You're going to invest in a really good working pantry. And tomorrow I'm going to cover that video. In the next video that's going to come out the next day, we're going to talk about that mid-tier pantry. And this is where you can really begin to integrate freeze-dried food. We're going to talk about that, commercially dehydrated food or home dehydrated food, but you do need to have an annual rotation plan in place. This is where you can also add in home canned foods. Home canned and home dehydrated, home freeze dried, if you have a freeze dryer, can all be in any of the first and second tier. I don't suggest it necessarily for the 3rd tier because the goal of the 3rd tier is to slowly build up. That you're not having to go and rotate regularly. You're rotating it really on like a decade, once a decade kind of basis, or as needed if you need to crack into any of that stuff. Again, just as a reminder, your pantry tiers should look like a working pantry that's being rotated regularly every few months. That is going to cover your pantry, shelves, your fridge, and your freezer, and you need to have, in an ideal world, 6 to 8 weeks of this or more if you have the space to do so. You're going to have a 2nd tier pantry that is going to be at least a dedicated month, if not 3, 4, 5 months. I personally have a 90-day supply, and I'm actually working on upping that to a 120-day supply, and this is your midterm pantry. This is going to be a mix of things you can buy at the grocery store and then just rotate it from there into your working pantry, stuff that you home can, stuff that you home dehydrate, or commercially canned, freeze-dried or dehydrated goods that you add in. And then you'll have your third tier, which is your long-term food storage. And again, this is the rice, the beans, the sugar, the salt, the flour, all the stuff that's designed to be packaged away and not looked at again for a decade or more. Friends, comment down below and let me know how you organize your food storage. I'm going to leave a link. I have an inventory bundle that I think might be really helpful for those of you just getting started. And I have a course on how to get that middle tier food storage set in just a weekend. It's called Food Storage in a Weekend, whole month of food storage, totally set, totally organized, ready to go in 48 hours, which might be very useful to you right now. All the information will be down in the description, so you can have all the information at your fingertips. I will make sure it's in all the videos in this series so you don't miss it out, but I do want to make sure I'm empowering you to become and confident in this crisis. We are seeing it. The food shortage crisis is coming, so we're planning ahead now by getting our 3 tiers in order, by looking at them specifically, and by making our moves now. Come and find me over on Instagram and Facebook, links down in the description. And until tomorrow, when the next video comes up, happy prepping.